Baseball in the Boroughs, presented by Verizon. With the Subway Series starting on Tuesday night at Citi Field, it's a great time to check in on the fan bases of the Mets and the Yankees. So let's do a check-in right now. We're going to do it with a host from Yankees Morning Brew. That will be Hector Beauchamp, and the host of the Subway To Shea podcast, Anthony Rivera. Got a dynamic duo joining me. How are you both doing? I know you're on opposite sides, but how's everybody doing before the Subway Series gets started?
I'm ready. As ready as I can be for this Subway Series right now.
Hector, it sounds like you're ready, too. I mean, I expect Yankee fans always say they're ready, so I would expect you to be ready there, of course. So we're going to talk a little Mets, Yankees, see where you guys are at, where the fan base is at. And, Anthony, I'm going to start with you and the Mets because the Amazins are going to be without Edwin Diaz after he was ejected on Sunday against the Cubs for having sticky stuff on his hands, a sticky situation there. Diaz has been suspended for 10 games. Does his suspension kill some of the good vibes that the Mets have had going this month? And then the other question I have is, who closes for the Metropolitans with Diaz gone?
You know, it always feels like when the Mets take a step forward, there's always two steps back that they have to take, and this Edwin Diaz situation is no different. Edwin Diaz went on the IL on May 29th in the home series against the Dodgers where they got swept. Since then, they're 15-6, best record in the majors, already the best record in June so far. He only impacted 3 of those games, which were in victories, so in reality, they're 12-6 without him. But the Mets have been playing with adversity all year. This is no different. The only thing that could affect them is this time without Diaz, they won't have the opportunity to replace him because of the rule with the suspension. So they would not be able to bring anyone up for the minors. And when you look at who can close, I might be giving an opportunity to someone different. Maybe to Daniel Nunez, who's pitched well for the Mets this season. Maybe he gets an opportunity. It'll definitely be some sort of closer by committee. You'll see Reed Garrett, Drew Smith, Jake Diekman. And it would be nice if Adam Ottavino showed up now. We really could use his help in this whole situation.
All right, we'll see who the Mets go with. I do think Nunez could be a pretty good option for them to close in these situations. Hector, moving to the Yankees, Giancarlo Stanton, he's out with a hamstring injury. We know Aaron Judge and Juan Soto, we know they've been killing it at the plate. But are you concerned about the lack of production elsewhere? Who needs to step up offensively for the Bronx Bombers right now?
Very concerned at the moment. Shout out to Giancarlo Stanton, or how we call him on Yankees Twitter, Skinny Stanton, because this offseason he went into that weight room and he worked on his body to get himself more flexible, to tone down on the muscles, and his output, what you've seen from him so far this season, what can you ask more for it? I mean, what can you ask more from Giancarlo Stanton? Over his last 10 games, arguably the best hitter in this Yankees lineup. He was hitting .378, 3 home runs, and 9 RBIs. And now the question is, who is going to step up and be the protection from Juan Soto and Aaron Judge? And the honest answer when it comes, if you ask me, is Gleyber Torres. Gleyber Torres has to step up in a big way. When you look at our team from last year, after Aaron Judge went down, Gleyber Torres was the best hitter on that lineup for the second half of the season. Granted, the Yankees were out of the postseason, but he was still performing at a level that Yankee fans haven't seen in a long time. It's been a struggle defensively from Gleyber Torres. We know what he's going to give you defensively, but offensively, we know the potential that he has in that bat. And if he gets hot, he can help carry a team for 2 to 4 weeks, giving Cashman an opportunity to see if the Yankees need to go out there to replace Stanton internally or externally.
All right, we'll see who can step up for the Yankees offensively. You talked about the Yankees offense. Now I want to talk a little bit about the Mets offense, Anthony, because the Mets bats, they've woken up this month, especially at Citi Field. They have scored 5 runs or more in 5 of their last 9 home games. Do you think the offense will continue to roll at home as we start the Subway Series?
I think it will. It won't be every night that you'll get a great offensive performance like we did in the past, but I think that this team has finally found the right formula with Lindor leading off, Brandon Nimmo batting second. You got the professional hitter and JD Martinez batting third, Pete fourth, and we haven't even seen the real Pete yet. But I think the key elements to this offense, and especially over the last couple of seasons, is what the bottom of the order is going to do. And it seems like the Mets have really found a good mesh to hit down with the order when it comes to Francisco Alvarez's return. You have the reemergence of Mark Vientos, the clutchness from Harrison Bader, and the leadership that a guy like Jose Iglesias brings to the brings to this team. And, you know, you get him more playing time, which I think he should be getting, and dial back on Jeff McNeil, who's been struggling all season.
All right, we'll see if the Mets offense can keep it going. Hector, coming back to the Yankees, you know the vibes have not been good lately for the Bronx Bombers. They've lost 7 out of their last 10 games, but they're still tied for the most wins in baseball. Are you concerned in the least bit about their June swoon here?
Yeah, I think I'm going to be 2 for 2 on my concern level because, I think anyone should be concerned when their team drops 3 series in a row, losing 7 of their last 10 games. And when you look at it, the struggles on the flip side, this is 162 game season for a reason. This is a marathon. It's not a sprint. So you understand in the month of April when people say that, oh, games aren't important, we shouldn't be worried about these games. No, you win the games in April, you win the games in May. So when June and July comes around, you can have a 10-game stretch like this. What benefit the Yankees at the same time is the fact that the Baltimore Orioles, they have lost 6 of their last 10 games. So the Yankees, they still have a comfortable 2-game lead in the AL East. That AL East race is going to be tight coming down the stretch. It is the closest division race in all of Major League Baseball, and I'm excited to see what happens towards the end. But yes, I'm a little bit concerned. Hopefully the Yankees can turn things around, and I'm looking forward to the series against the Mets.
Yeah, I'm sure as a Yankee fan, you want to see them turn it around right here against the crosstown rivals. With that being said, last thing for you both, how badly do you want to see your team sweep their crosstown rival this week? And if that happens, what confidence would that give your respective fan bases? Anthony, I'll start with you first.
There is not a time in my life where I have not wanted to sweep the New York Yankees in a series, but this one's very important, right? A sweep puts the Mets right back at 500 at 39-39, and that's something that I've been wanting the Mets to get to so that we can take the next step and start thinking about buying instead of selling when it comes to the trade deadline. So sweeping the Yankees is a huge step forward. The Yankees are reeling a little bit, and this is the perfect time to try to take advantage of it because those opportunities don't come often for the Mets. So if they can do that, I think that the confidence level, if it's not already high enough right now off of the June that they've had, it'll definitely be high then.
Now, Hector, I know you do not want to see the Mets get to 500. You would not like your team to be swept. So how important is it for you to see the Yankees bring out the brooms against the Mets?
I just want to say Anthony was a lot nicer when we was on his show having this conversation, but he brought out the knives right now. But no, yeah, as a Yankee fan, growing up, you always want to see the Yankees beat the New York Mets. I always let people know I grew up in a single mother household. My mom is a diehard Met fan, but growing up, she forced me to be a Yankee fan so we can have that rivalry in the household. So I always shout out my moms for my Yankee fandom. But this is our favorite time of the year. Yankee fans, Met fans, regardless if the Yankees are doing good or regardless if the Mets doing good, this is always a great time for New York baseball. There was a golden age at one point when you had the Yankees, the Dodgers, and the Giants. The Subway Series, it doesn't have that same flair like the 2000 in the World Series, but it's still a special time whenever the Yankees and Mets meet up in the summer.
Hector, I was hoping you were going to say that you wanted to see your mom happy and you wanted to see the Mets win because I feel like if the Mets get the sweep, then your mom is going to be happy. Man, listen, rivalries can break some families apart. Not saying that Hector's family's broken apart. He's still keeping it together. We will see what happens with the Mets and Yankees. Round 1 of the Subway Series gets started on Tuesday night at Citi Field. That is Hector Beauchamp of Yankees Morning Brew. Check out his work there. Also, check out Anthony Rivera hosting the Subway To Shea podcast, 2 of the best content creators around New York baseball. Guys, I appreciate the breakdown. Enjoy the Subway Series and be nice to each other over the next couple of days.
We'll try. Thanks, Dexter.
No problem, guys.